NFL is as crazy a league and a sport as you can get. My Dolphins, all-time epic win. Next week, all-time epic loss. You guys hand them the epic loss and an epic win for you guys. And then a week later, you kind of have a letdown against the Jags in Britain. NFL is all over the place. Injuries, really terrible for Milano. Guy's a good player. I mean, I know some fans don't like him because he keeps hurting Tua. But I don't think most of that stuff was on purpose. And he's a critical player and a great player. It sucks to see him go down like that. I don't know if it's going to be a long-term thing. I don't know if it's going to be a full season or whatever. I hope it's not for you guys. My condolences. Then Daquan went down. That was a big loss for you. Dane Jackson got injured. I thought it was going to be very serious. But really, the defense did its job until the end when they got gassed. The loss, 25-20. I thought you guys were going to win. I predicted you to win. But I said, if you don't come out with the right recipe on offense, anything can happen. And it's so confusing. I just don't get Dorsey. My man Tommy of a Mafia Sports Report was lauding him the last week. I wonder what he's going to say this week. To me, this is all about Dorsey. There's some other stuff in here too as well. But clearly the recipe of balanced football, mixed formations with a healthy dose of on the center is the clear recipe. Week 1, it was typical Dorsey Dable, shotgun draws and deep passes, and it didn't work out. Came back against the Raiders, had the balanced approach and blew them out. Then the following week went against the Commanders, really went back to more week 1 than week 2, although there was some nice little wrinkles in the draws, and it was a close one. The defense kind of came through, but the offense laid an egg for the most part until the very, very end. And then against my Dolphins, you come out with the perfect game plan, calls, philosophy, everything, adjustments, and you blow us out. And then you go against the Jags and you go back to the week 1 game plan of chuck a duck, shotgun, and draws. And I'm going to go over the under center. There was like maybe about 10 of them, and I think about 90% were highly successful. There is something very curious about Dorsey. I'm not saying he sucks, but I'm saying he's very inconsistent. It doesn't make sense with this Jekyll and Hyde type personality running your offense. Now, I'll get into the whole deal. One note, though, is Allen's arm was off all day. He was throwing short. I mean, the guy still throws a mile, but one play deep where he got the pick to Diggs, should have been a touchdown. It was short. There was a drive going for the touchdown at the very end of the fourth quarter. It was short. There was a lot of short plays deep. I don't know what's going on with Allen's arm, but I still don't put it on Allen. The stats are a little misleading. But 27 for 40, 359, 2 touchdowns and 1 int, and 1 TD on the ground is not a terrible day, but you still got a 25-20. Lawrence didn't light up, but it's the carries. And I try to tell Tommy the other day is that it's not just about the production of yards. It's the sticking with the run game. The number of attempts is real. I mean, obviously yards great, but it's the attempts. 26 carries by Etienne, 7 by Lawrence, 2 by Ridley, 3 by Bigsby, 1 by Kirk, 1 by Agnew. 40 carries on the ground versus 14 by the Bills. And that's really the key. This defense got Vaughn back. They lost Milano early, but they were sacking, causing fumbles. They had a great day, and eventually they got gassed. But it comes back to Dorsey. There's no other way. I don't know how you cannot see that. And the great news is, as I've said for a while, this recipe is basic. And at least this year, you dialed it up twice with great results. It's very clear what this offense should be. But for some strange reason, after every high success of this balanced approach of being on the center or the solid, you come back with the old way and it fails. So if Dorsey could just get it straight, what you need to do on offense for the game plan, you guys will be fine. I just don't know why he doesn't do it and what's the deal. Damian Harris had 3 carries. Cook had 5 carries for -4 yards. And then Harris had 3 for 13. And you'll say, oh, well, we can't run. Why are you saying we should run? Go back and look. He even went back to straight draws again. I told you there's a way you run draws. You hand the ball from shotgun, which makes it easy to read, which is a negative. But if your entire offensive line stands up and pass block, that is usually just a trick play, and it has low-end success. Dorsey, though, dialed up draw fires, which the guy shot out like as if they were blocking a regular run play, and then draw fires where half would stand up and do the pass look to confuse guys, and the other side would fire, and they did a couple of those, but the under the center runs, there was 2 of them, I think, maybe on the day. They did not want to rely on this run game. They were not patient, which, again, it's like the Jets game. You're in a tight game. It takes intestinal fortitude to commit to the run, to commit to this balanced approach, and stick with it. And I don't know if Dorsey has it. If he does, you guys will be fine. Now, Josh Allen, I said the arm was a little off, but under center, 3rd and 2, you get a first down. Under center play action, you get a first down and 15-yard reception. Straight throw from the under center, it was an incomplete. Play action, and then Allen was searching, found Cook over the middle. Cook got 18. Scramble under center, Allen got 8. Run for 2 yards on a second down, and I think it was 3, ended up being a 3rd and short. You came back under center with a PA rollout with Allen, who picked up the first down with Allen on his edge, on his heels. Great call. Then you got the play action under center for Diggs for 48, which was short. That could have been a touchdown, but it was short. Then you got a play action for first with Kincaid for 15. And that was like, there was maybe 1 or 2 more on the day. But the gross success, I've said this over and over again, the gross success when you play balanced, when you give formation, different formation looks. You got on the center and you run from it and you pass it and you play action and then you pass and run from shotgun. When you pull all that together with a healthy dose on the center and runs, you guys are extraordinarily tough. But for some reason, I don't know, Dorsey just doesn't want to do it. He's just not consistent. And it doesn't make sense. And, you give him credit this year for really seeing what you need to do. But I've been saying this for 3 seasons. It took him this long to get here. And then he gets the recipe, and then he wants to go to another recipe after it's successful. It does not make sense. Jags, for the most part, were running and not getting much, but they stuck with it and stuck with it and stuck with it and eventually wore down your defense and broke open some big plays. And it took the pressure off Lawrence to get some big plays in it. Allen should have had the same recipe, and this would have been a win, an easy win. You go back, and obviously there was that play at the very end where you had Poyer on Ridley, and you blasted Lawrence, but he got the ball. It was a killer. And that was a big play. But Jags kind of gave it to you with fumbles and screw-ups. But there were the penalties there, too, that really, made this game a very weird game. But this is a game the Bills should not have lost. There was tons of penalties. I think 10 penalties on the Bills. By 5, I think, on the Jags. But who knows? I got to go back and see what were real penalties. It was just a crazy, crazy game. But the lack of consistency consistently comes back to Dorsey. This is all about Dorsey. And I as a football fan, I hope you guys do the right thing. As a Dolphin fan, this is you're opening the door for my team. And I kind of like that. But the lack of consistency on offense is because the offensive coordinator is by nature inconsistent. I think he's an inconsistent person. He doesn't have the intestinal fortitude to hold to this offensive scheme that is highly successful because it takes patience. And I don't know any other reason but to say this is the reason. So, Bills fans, I think you guys are going to do well. It's just really all going to come down to this. That's all it is. And injuries. Injuries is terrible. It's a terrible series of blows. But look what this defense was able to do short-handed. I mean, Vaughn was coming back. He was playing limited. Daquan went down. Rousseau was out. You lost Milano. Benford was out. And look what this defense is good enough. It comes down to the offense. And it's not Josh Allen. It's not the offensive line. The offensive line gets put in crap positions because they have a bad scheme, bad philosophy, and it puts them in a situation where it's not conducive to their strengths. You could see that. Look at the Raiders, look at the Dolphins, look at the consistency level, and then look at the other 3 games. It's very clear. So anyway, guys, I hope the best for you. Next week you go against the Giants. You're going to blow them out. Dable's not going to have any secrets unless, of course, Dorsey decides to go deep, baby, and play shotgun all day. But if you have a semi-coherent offensive game plan, this will be a blowout. You'll be 4-2. So this is going to be a dogfight in the AFC East. And look out for those Jets. They didn't get stolen by the refs in that Chiefs game. They would be in contention too. Patriots, I'm kind of thinking they might be dead, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, it's a short one. I'll try to get some film to you. I'll try to maybe even put the film together of this under center stuff to show you how successful it is. Go back every time you watch your team on the center, you'll notice gross success. That's been the trend for the entire season. Under center brings gross success. Shotgun draws all day does not create good stuff for you guys. Anyway, again, sorry about Milano. I hope the best. Hope you guys heal. This rush to week 18 for all 2 teams is going to be spectacular. Curtis saying, catch you next time. Be well. Oh, I can't say that. I'm not like Tommy. I'm not like you, Tommy. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.